Hey guys, Mas Sajady here. Hope you are doing really fantastic. You just caught me when I was just biting on a snack. So anyway, welcome. Thanks for being here, guys. And again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and then give it to your friends and family, especially around these holidays, because strange things are happening. It's like Carolyn T says, strange things are happening here. Absolutely, we're going to be talking about that. This is the World Frequency Meditation, and over time, we've decided to turn the World Frequency Meditation. And so let me explain what that is for new people, and even for experts that have been here before. You know, as my abilities have gotten, say, stronger, especially after my third near death. Um, um, I start to understand how these realities work. So I'm going to be putting out a lot of, say, a lot of content on how realities work, the science between, the science behind like quantum physics, or I would call XI physics, that go beyond quantum physics and so on like that. And how gravity really works, because there's a lot of holes in gravity. But what does all that science have to do with you, right? And that's really the key. The key to this reality's understanding is that, well, we need to understand, say, how this reality works for us to be abundant, for us to be happy. Because we've tried. Um, if we think that success is going to help us, and it doesn't. And I'm not saying success is bad, because people who are not so successful have the same issues, right? So it's like, what's going on, and then we try a religion or we try spirituality, and again, there's nothing wrong with that if you're getting the results that you desire. But again, look at the world. Obviously, it's not getting the results that you desire. So we start to have to like really look into, say, the black box. The black box is basically a recording device for on airplanes, and in it and it records everything that the airplane went through before it crashed. So same thing here. Actually, we're looking into, say, the black box. We already crashed, guys. That's the deal. We already fucking crashed. It's humanity crashed quite a while back, maybe in 2000. I want to say 2000. 2016 or so. It was like going down, and then by about when COVID hit, I don't know, 2019, 2019, 2020, that's when it literally crashed, and then all this stuff came out, right? So now we're being forced into looking at that black box and see where we went wrong. Okay. Now, in the black box, just like any other, say, process, if we choose to ignore what the data that we saw, on the black box, because it's a recording of history. Okay. And I'll explain how the black box works in consciousness. It's a recording in history, just like that recording on an airplane, right? If we choose to ignore it, like some scientist comes through, it's like, no, the data that we saw and what the airplane went through is wrong, right? Again, science chooses to ignore that. Religions choose to ignore that. Politicians, you choose to ignore all the facts, basically. So if we choose to ignore the facts on why our life is the way it is, then, well, you can't do anything about it, right? You're gonna still have, say, the same fucked up life that you did in the past. Simple as that. You're gonna rerun your old genetic patterns, your parents' patterns, society's patterns, and so on like that. If you don't believe me, look at society. Take a breath in. I'm just starting to, say, hone in on you all, and that's why you want to. That's why you want to. Do these live, but the recordings are almost as good. But if you're doing it live, I can actually scan or pull in your particular frequency signature, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But again, if you choose to ignore the facts, the data, right, history, and see it from, say, a distorted perception, or say a perception that just benefits you and not anybody else, then we're going to get the same results. And that's what's happened over and over. So this black box, or the crash that we've had in 2020, is literally a wake up for humanity, right? And what's happening is that people are waking up. People are going, "Oh shit! I can't believe that I'm running patterns." How many of you on this call again comment in? Because I do read the comments, not all of them, but as I'm speaking, doing multifunction here. How many of you look at your life now and go, "Holy shit! I can't believe I've been running those patterns." I can't believe, and then you go into the point. It's like, shit, I can't believe my family's running these patterns, and then you go into, gosh, I can't believe my, group or faith or, business consciousness is running these patterns, right? I do feel the crash happen. Yep. And then you get to the point. It's like, God, I can't believe, and who's at this level? I can't believe humanity's patterns, how just the basic level or the basic, say, frequency of humanity. Like, all you can see people, and it's like, oh my God, they might be very different, physically and so on like that. But overall, they have a general theme. They're literally like a slave nation and so on like that, right? By the way, it's not. We've been conditioned to think that way, and you all who can see, it's like, gosh, we've been just honed. And it's not like government's fault, although yes, it's their fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your. I wouldn't say it's your fault, but it's your opportunity to awaken. It's your opportunity to awaken and go, shit, I don't want this anymore. I want freedom. How many of you want freedom here, right? How many of you want some, for you to be you, right? You're not, say, a slave. You're not going to be working your ass off, uh, you know, as a slave. You can work your ass off to expand and enhance yourself. But most individuals, even, billionaires and so on like that, what they do is they work away, work away, work away, thinking that they're going to get away from this consciousness that binds them. In fact, the more success you have, the more you start to realize that you're bound. And then this is where people at high levels commit suicide, or they get addicted to drugs, although they might have everything. They've got everything they want. But again, I have something that they need, and that is you awakening, or them awakening, right, to a higher level of understanding. So take a deep breath in. Just again, just notice where you are. This is called the World Frequency Meditation. What it is, and it's basically what it is that we as a group, live, and then also, also if you re-listen to this, it still, creates the wave. So what we do is we're at a much higher level of frequency. Again, the reason why I can say that is, like, your lives have massively turned around, you know massively turned around in a very, say, different process. Okay? I didn't use psychology, NLP, self improvement, or any of that other stuff, or teach you success skills and so on like that. Although, as you ascend to a higher level of consciousness, all those things come in. You got the right psychology for relationships, making money, all those things. Again, you don't deny. I help you elevate to a higher level of consciousness where you should be. This meditation is basically pulling you back into, say, the self-respect of being human. Simple as that. Okay. Forget about frequencies, forget about XI signs, forget about all that stuff. It's about you being human, treating yourself as human, and then rendering that, or creating a ripple where your families start to go, gosh, you know what? It's nice. They turned human. I want to turn human. And that's such an impact, right? How many of you, again, your family has changed because you're doing exponential intelligence, right? You're exponentially intelligent, especially your younger kids. They start to transform massively because that's real change. So we're bringing about real change in the world. Okay, not what Donald Trump says or whoever is that out there. I don't know. I think there's a what was that was their key tag, right? Real change, right? We're going to bring real change and all that. It's the same bullshit hashed through over and over again. Okay, I don't want to get political here, but literally, it's about us coming into real change, and the real change is coming back to our natural state of being, say, human. Okay, human. And that's really the key, being human. We've lost that identity of being human because we've sold ourselves to say the technologies, to whoever else that we inspire to. It's like, gosh, I'll give anything to be with that one person. For example, many of you as I read you. So again, this world frequency meditation is all about you coming into a higher version. And as you come to a higher version, and it's a global, it's a world frequency meditation. So it's not just about the people here. It's like we've created enough momentum. If you read the book, it's a little old, but Power versus Force. One individual at a very high level frequency can affect hundreds of thousands or even millions of people. Okay. That's how we change the world, not by more laws or anything like that. What we've done with all of you, so thank you for going through. You are the pioneers of the change that's needed to happen. Okay. And it's very important nowadays. Very, very important. Take another breath in. Just notice your spine. It takes me a little bit to say, put you in, say, groups and subgroups. But again, take a deep breath in. Notice your spine, your ribs, basically your skeletal system. Okay. We'll work on bone structure here. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But when we change, when we have that much impact, and it's not just me anymore, there's enough people that are resonating at a higher level frequency than ever before now. Okay. And this is where you'll see the chaos in the world, because the chaos has always been around, but it's been, say, since you've been in the chaos, you wouldn't see it until you pull away, right? And many of you have pulled away. Even those people who haven't, say, practiced XI, because we've crashed, they've awakened. It's like, shit, I need to do something. So we're gravitating, or people are coming into, say, the XI world. So thank you for that. But we've got so much momentum built up, guys. We're like an atom bomb of truth, and it's going to be dropping. It's already dropped, and now we're seeing, say, the results. And this is where a lot of people are in chaos. If you look around you, those individuals who are, say, awakened will, say, blossom and go to a higher level because they've let go of their old garbage, their old shit, right? For those individuals, well, who still hold on to their identities, especially those individuals who control the world, so to speak. High level people, I don't want to call them high level people, low level people, because low level people control, not high level people. Although in today's society, they carry the wealth, they carry all that. But what about you? Are you holding on to your old crap, your old garbage, an old version of yourself? That old version will not be supported in this space. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Again, notice your skeletal system. That old version will not be supported. It just won't be. I don't care what you believe in, how you believe it in. If you're a good person, if you think you're a bad person, good, it doesn't fucking matter. It's all about the physics again. So if you're not resonating at a certain frequency, you won't be supported anymore. Simple as that. So that's what these frequency session meditations are about, pulling the world up to a higher level order so we can, say, transform to a higher level. Okay? In the future, take a deep breath in again. Notice your structure. Notice your, and again, I'm doing a couple things, which is good for you. Some of you might get confused, but again, it's the best, say, method for you to transform. How many of you noticed, say, a great divide coming up into the world, right? How many of you noticed that, right? You're separating from those people that just doesn't resonate with you anymore. It's not because of culture or whatever, color or, man, woman, status and all that, right? It's about something else, something deeper. Okay. So that great divide. And by the way, we have a meditation coming up. Not exactly sure when that is. I don't know, D, if you can post that on there, or the team can post that on there. Um, yeah. The Great Divide coming up. Oh, part one, death, December 30th. And then part two, becoming limitless. So the death is the death of your limited self. That's coming up for you December 30th, which is really perfect. It's the end of the year. We're going to use that momentum, that cycle of the ending. So it's the ending of your old self. So that's that limited version, and then we're going to have part two coming up to like come into say your limitless version. So that's going to be really exciting on that. So a lot of good things coming up for you in the future to take advantage of what say the world has to offer. By the way, okay. So let's take a deep breath in. Well, the other aspect of it as well is that with my ability, especially after my near death in Peru, I can actually say scan massive groups of people. The larger groups, the better. Tens of thousands, I can work on very very efficiently now. So I'll talk about the science some other time. But in this world frequency meditation, I'm not gonna just like work on say political leaders. And again, if you bring in a political leader that you want me to bring on, or a religious leader, whether they're dark or whether they're pure, it doesn't really matter. Let's just work on them. If they're dark, they have to awaken. Okay. And then unfortunately, if they're too dark, they burn off, right? And they're not here anymore, and there won't be affecting from the other side. If they're light, they get the strength of that purity. That's the purity wave that's coming in. So either way, again, so bringing in leaders or game changers, or whatever you want to call them, bring them in, high level people, say that control the world. Even you can bring in, say, Elon Musk. He's got a good heart and all that stuff, but he's a little fucked up. Simple. He's a little fucked up as he ages. His mental capabilities, the way he runs his system, is going to be fucked up. Just like Nikola Tesla and so on like that. They don't do it the proper way. I'm not saying they're genius. I'm not saying they're not intelligent, or they're not geniuses. They truly are. But again, they're destroying themselves. How many of you are destroying yourself for your genius, your intellect, your success? How many of you? Or how many of you did do that, and you don't do that anymore, and you can have it all, right? So take a deep breath in. You can bring in anybody that you want. So I'm going to be bringing in, say, all of human consciousness, hence the world, and then also nature, because nature is, say, pushing back or fighting back. But what that means is like nature is not going to hold on to your bullshit anymore. Your pets, again, moving away from being a helper animal, so on like that. Pets that, what do they call them? Those animals, emotional support animals. They bring on the plane and stuff, and you can see the person. They're carrying so much baggage. It's like they've got so much baggage in themselves, their body can't handle it, and then they have a pet, an emotional support pet, that it's like, here, I can't carry all this baggage. Those kind of things, aren't, yeah, support animals. Those kind of things aren't going to be working in the future anymore. You have to own your own garbage, your own shit, and then take care of it. If you don't like it, fix it. Okay. That's what the new paradigm is about. And that's what this is about. So again, a breath in, and just noticing your space, noticing the space around you. And we're really going to be pushing it because, again, it's towards the end of the year. We'll also, for the holidays as well, um, you'll start to see, say, the differentiation between you and your family. It's not about separating from your family. It's about separating all the dogma and all the garbage and all the genetics that have destroyed your family. Okay. There we go. So we'll bring in a couple masterminds here. One is resetting the world consciousness, and I've talked about this. And there's a lot of scientists talk about, say, singularity or technological singularity. Again, the black box crash that's already happened. Now we're deciding is like, do we allow machines to take over? Okay. Do we allow machines to become more intelligent? Do we allow machines to, say, consume us? And then we are victims, or we are, say, the minority, right? Again, it doesn't. We have that opportunity. Basically, do we allow ourselves to go extinct, or do we allow ourselves to awaken into a new paradigm of new possibilities? Right. Breath in again. Many of you are experiencing, say, like an NDE, a near-death experience. I explained that a while back as, say, and I'm just reading the group now, and then consciousness, human consciousness as a world. So your group, the way I create it for those who are up and coming ex-hires, who can start doing some of the stuff that I do, because we all can. What I do is create groups and then subgroups. So a massive group creating, say, a high level human, the limitless human that we are, and then subgroups on why we're not. For example, those individuals who hold on to so much garbage from other people that they need, say, support animals. That's why I talked about that. There's a lot of you out there, whether it's animals, whether it's some other process or some other thing that you do. Again, or like it could be your spouse. Say you're helping people, and then your spouse is absorbing, or your kids are absorbing. Again, support frequencies, right? That you need to support yourself. So again, those things have to stop. So let's work on those individuals, and then those are individuals who, who are so fearful of, say, letting go, that they'll hold on to their old stuff, although they're good people. They're really, really fantastic individuals. But again, their whole paradigm is like, shit, you know what? I have to suffer in this world to be a good person. That kind of thing doesn't work out well. It's not in the new paradigm. So again, take a deep breath in. And then obviously, leadership, bringing in the first principles definition of what real leadership is. Currently, the current leadership is like coercion, making the masses or making the public weak, for those individuals who don't know how to lead, to control them better. Right? It's like parents who are fucked up, and then what do? They try to control or they limit their kids' activities, and don't allow them to be, say, kids or their best possible self, because it's easier to parent that way, right? They don't look at themselves and go, fuck, I'm fucked up, I need help. By the way, we're going to be doing this event about that. Breath in again. So we're talking about a lot of things, or I'm talking about a lot of things, just because as I see these fragments, or groups, you're coming together. So if you're feeling it, you can comment in. But again, I suggest you just staying in the space and then commenting later. It'll just be more beneficial for you. Again, breath in. This one, I no longer have to suffer. Exactly. There we go. Again, noticing your space, noticing you. So part of these world meditations is not just, say, elevating consciousness, but then helping you at a group level with, say, your, say, problems. Okay. Again, you don't need a one-on-one session. I would suggest, this or the group meditations, the 18-day meditations that are starting tomorrow, by the way, massively transform. I'll save you a lot of money, save you a lot of time. I'm booked, I've got, I don't know, over 1,000 or so clients just on a waiting list. So, in the meantime, you can receive, say, help on how to be your best self. So again, there's lots of programs that we offer you that could transform your life. Again, especially like the 18-day hyper meditation starting tomorrow. Breath in again, though. So we'll bring in, say, specific frequencies to help you. Not a doctor in any way. I don't claim to cure anybody or heal anybody, or help people get rich or anything like that. But what I do claim is that, and I do that the best. I think probably the best in the world, from just from feedback and just statistics. The way I transform people is that I help you awaken or activate your natural healing abilities, or your natural, say, limitless self. Okay, and this is where you start to heal at you. Breath in again. There you go. So for those individuals, from what I'm picking up, there's a big group of, say, I just want to say mental distortion. Okay. So how do I work? But before I get into that mental distortion, what I do is I create duplicates. So again, we're working on, say, nature. We're working on, say, the political people. We're working on, um, the humanity, the consciousness of humanity. So those things are like set on a roll or set on autopilot. Okay. So now we can just focus in on more and more individuals. So individuals who are mental distortion. So this could run from, again, like physical issues of the brain and so on like that. Usually due to bad foods and so on, psychological type issues, issues with, say, I don't know how many of you feel like presences around you, or if you feel like, whether you believe it or not, but here are the symptoms. If you feel like your life is not your own, if you feel like there's almost somebody else watching you, if you feel like you're not in control of yourself, if you feel like there's almost somebody else talking to you, criticizing you or ridiculing you or whatever it might be, those type of mental distortions. I talked about this where, say, the layer of death, again in a previous episode, comes in, the merges, and that's how we elevate. But if there's a lot of, say, dead dead people who didn't cross over properly, well, they have to go somewhere. So if you're talking a lot about, say, your family that have died, right? Especially through the holidays, more and more, say, topics of death, or you're going to go through family albums and all that. It's because that those family frequencies, and you can put it in different ways. That spirit or that ghost of your dead relatives are coming into you, are coming into this realm. You can look at it that way. Science wise, is basically what happens is that the genetic patterns that you inherited from those individuals who've died, as we awaken, those genetic patterns awaken. So again, you might feel like their presence around you. Okay, that's the way XI looks at it. So again, breath in. Other people who are not, say, connected. So, depression, anxiety, stress, and so on like that. They're outside of their body, usually due to, from what I see, some sort of trauma. So those types of individuals. Okay. So helping you put yourself back in. As I help you put yourself back in, what'll happen is that you might remember the trauma that forced you to step out. Okay, out of your identity or out of your placement in space time. So those individuals, it's there for you to, say, heal or go back to your younger child, your younger version of yourself, and then love that younger version, and then that's how you heal. Headaches. Let's work on headaches. A lot of time, headaches come from. So basically, this is about headaches or head issues, headaches, so on. Take a breath in. Notice your head, especially for those who have headaches or anything else that might have resonated with you, or neck issues, from what I'm seeing. A couple things, physical things, headaches. Again, foods that you eat, probably not the best. That's why we have to take so many fucking supplements and minerals and all that stuff, because the food that we eat are garbage. They're not food. They're not providing us the nutrition that our body needs. So it messes up. Again, so lack. Um, which will be addressed at higher levels of consciousness. Um, take a breath in again. Again, notice especially your neck area, head area. As I work on, again, the other groups that we've created that we're helping, political leaders to help us really lead. So you're going to see what that means is that you're going to see more and more, whether they're old or new, leaders show up that are, well, pure hearted. They actually care for the people. And that's what we're looking for. There we We're helping nature reclaim itself. So from devastation, pollution, um, so you'll start to see nature reclaim. How nature reclaims is by um, shifting or shifting through, like say, severe weather patterns, hurricanes, earthquakes, and so on. Because again, nature has to shift as it evolves. So the old has to die off. That's how nature does it. And then blossoms forward. It's like forest fires, even if man didn't start forest fires, there'd be forest fires to kill off the old, start fresh. Nature does that, reclaims itself. So you're going to see a lot of that coming up, whether it's volcanoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, all that. Okay, people will be consumed from those devastations, but it's part of the process. Okay? Breath in again. So again, all those things, working on all that, and it starts pretty soon. By the way, you're starting to hear more and more severe weather patterns coming up. Some of you might go, "It's a conspiracy. It's Bill Gates. It's chemtrails and all that." Sure, that's part of the process. It's very minute, though. It's the consciousness behind that says, "Hey, nature has to change. Earth has to change." Right? And they're just riding the coattails. So either way, with or without their devastation, nature is going to have some severe, say, transformations, which again is a blossoming, a new beginning. Humanity is going to have, say, again, some severe transformations. It has to get rid of the old, the shit that's not working, but it'll be quick. Breath in again. I talk about more about this on, say, the 2023 predictions coming up. Towards the end of the year on Moss on Sunday, coming back to those individuals with headaches or head issues, those individuals, physical issues. Again, the foods that you eat, not the best. They don't have the nutritional value, or they're just empty calories. So watch what you eat. Obviously, sugars aren't the best for you, or modified sugars and so on like that. And then there's also, say, foods or chemicals that are put into our foods that's just not, the body doesn't know what to do with it. So it literally poisons that you're eating. So again, be mindful. So those are the physical things. The other aspects, which I kind of see a lot of, not a lot of you, but a good number of you to address it, is that you've been shaken. Um, yeah, you've been shaken as a young child. So I don't know who's out there, at least 10, 12 of you. You know, been shaken as a child, hence you have neck issues, so on like that, which pinch your vertebrae or your nerves. And then you have head issues and organ failures, things of that nature. It's because of that shake. So that's a little different because there's a psychological bent to it, you know. Although you would get attracted to, say, getting hit in the head, or again, head injuries, neck injuries, and so on, because that pattern was created for you when you were really young, and you go, shit, this is my environment, right? I need to be shaken to be in tune. I know it's a fucked up concept, but that's how programs work. So for those individuals, and again, comment in who those are. Oh, yeah, you picked up on you being shaken as a baby. Yep. My mom used to hit me in the head. Yep. So those type of patterns, again, it fucks people. It fucks kids up dramatically. And then you think, one, the psychological impact of that is that you're not good enough, right? So those individuals who are shaken, you're not good enough. You'll never be good enough. No matter what you do, again, you'll never, ever say, come up to, say, the standards of what I need, from you, that parent that's beating you up, which obviously is their issue. That's what I was talking about. And then you'll never meet, because that pattern is set in your liquid stage, again, from 0 to 7, what's happened for you is that that pattern is solidified. So you would attract spouses that say don't treat you well, or spousal abuse, man and woman, and so on like that. Or you get into situations that you get abused, right? Breath in again. And again, today, just focusing in on, say, the neck on up, and bone structure. Other aspects is people who've gone mentally unstable. You've got mental instability in your family lineage. So it's in your genetics for you to have a higher propensity of mental instability. So let's help you awaken to start seeing the pattern. So you go, fuck, I don't need that mental instability, as I age, right? So let's work on that group as well. Since we've got the shaken group that's created, it's still working on you, by the way. So we'll just keep creating these little pods or groups that we can work on. We'll extend the time a little bit as well. I'm not going to read anybody specifically. I'm just reading you as a group. Okay. And by the way, if you don't have any of those issues, it'll still benefit you, because what you do is when you create yourself, okay, you're filtering out, I'm not a person that's been shaken. You filter that out of your human filter. So human filters have all the possibilities that humans have gone through in that pot. So out of that pot, you have to literally, like you take a bowl of soup from the pot, right? You put it into your bowl, and then what you're doing, literally, and imagine this, those individuals who don't have these, say, symptoms, but you're still affected by it. So you've got a bowl of soup, a bowl of soup of human consciousness, all the possibilities, all the ingredients that you could be as a human, right? You take your bowl out. That's your bowl. That's Billy's bowl right here, right? So what you do is like, well, I don't want being shaken. I don't want this. I don't want that. So what, it's just like my kids sometimes, what do? They pull the ingredients out, right? So basically that's what you're doing when you're rendering yourself here. So in this scenario, even if you haven't or don't have those patterns in you, it's in your bowl of soup that you always have to, say, fight pulling out or finding bits and pieces, smaller and smaller bits and pieces. So basically this will go, you filter out automatically out of that bowl of soup. Get it? So breath in again. So back to the head issues and so on like that I see. Individuals, again, depression, anxiety, again, those are spatial issues, where you don't know where you connect yourself or how you connect to the higher version. So you always feel like you're entrenched, you're say in a pit, you're in a hole. You need other people, although they might abuse you, if that makes sense to you. You need other people to, say, help you out. And again, they perpetuate that, what I just talked about. So those kind of patterns, they're so what that is again, you lost connection to your higher version of who you are. That's why you feel empty. That's why you feel lost. The more success you have, the more you fall in love, the more lost you'll feel in a short time, right? Who's out there like that? So that group, right? This is, oh shit. The other group is people with, so we'll leave that group. Just give me a second. People with like multiple personalities, or they think they have multiple personalities and so on like that. I guess, I think we can't, there's so many different types of patterns that it's coming out for us all. We might not be able to finish all of it here, but it's a good start. Breath in again as we expand, think about human consciousness, the world. So those who have, say, or would be labeled or think they have multiple personalities, or kind of like schizophrenia type as well. They're all space-time issues, so they're all globbed or grouped under that one um, umbrella. There we go. So basically, what you do for several reasons is simply one, you have multiple personalities. And do you have multiple personalities? There's very few individuals that are labeled by medical society as, multiple personalities. Okay. I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but that does exist. But most individuals who have, say, multiple type personalities, there's a couple things that happen. They are, say, insecure or don't know who they are. So they don't know who they are. So what they do is like, well, I'll be like mom. Okay. But mom isn't a complete picture of who they are. So you feel lost. Well, it's like, it can't be mom. I'll be like dad. And then you take on aspects of dad. So whenever you're in a situation that, say, has dad skills, you would turn into the personality of your dad. And then, throughout life, you pick people. Um, like your first lover, and that personality is like, well, to love somebody, I would have to morph into their personality so they can like me. But again, that never works out, because over time they'll see, and again, raise your hand or comment in. It's like they start not liking you, right? Because you've morphed into an identical representation of them, and they're looking in the mirror. And then when they look in the mirror, they see all their faults that you copied over, thinking that it'll be good for you. How many people do that for them to like somebody? So that would be, say, another personality. Okay. And these personalities become so real. Or when you were younger, how many had like imaginary friends and so on like that? Okay. Or eating disorders, or say literally straight out possessions. Somebody just took over your body, especially if you live in Hawaii or are alcoholic and so on like that. Oh, so I kind of open up a huge bag of issues just focusing in on the head. Do you see all the propensity? The other aspect of that is that through abuse or through escape to be a better version of yourself, or to escape abuse, whatever it might be. Like, this version is never good enough. I want to be that better version there. This is where a lot of success people take, or type A personalities come in. This version is never good enough. So they escape their reality, right? They create another reality out there. So those people who have multiple realities, like Kanye West, for example. By the way, I'll do a video on Kanye West. Take a look at that. It'll be on YouTube for you. People say he's going crazy. He's a madman. I'll explain the science on why or how he is, say, distorted, although he has brilliant insight. Okay. Which might not resonate at this level, but it might resonate at a higher level. He just didn't understand what he got himself into. How many of you did something, Kundalini experience, ayahuasca, those kind of things that fucked up with your head, and now, or distorted your brain chemistry literally, and now you are in multiple realities, or you did a seance, or you followed a guru, or those kind of things that just fucked with your spatial referencing mechanism in your brain. So you start to see other realities, but you can't control them, right? You just get pulled into another reality, and that's your reality. So again, multiple personalities. So this one, oh my God, that's exactly how I describe him. Yep. So Hawaii, it's not haunted if you're, good. It's a beautiful place, but I mean, their tradition is not letting go of the dead. They have night walkers. What are night walkers? Well, the dead. I mean, it's a known fact that You can any Hawaiian tradition or religions or cultures that believe of holding on to the dead and not allowing them to go beyond, say, that veil. So you're here in physical form, the next veil up, that's death. You can't represent yourself in physical form, although you're conscious. So you didn't let those cultures or religions did not allow that person to go beyond the limitations of space and time. So you're doing them a disservice, by the way. And it doesn't help you, by the way. So what do? Well, you get haunted by them. And it's a burden because, again, that is coming into. So you'll see people in Hawaii, for example, more fucked up than ever, more suicides, more of that nature. And that's the reason why. Or other places. I'm not just picking on Hawaii. I'm just giving you an example. Breath in again. We'll just extend it out another, say, 10 minutes. Since we're getting into the good stuff, people who start to see terror or just freak out, right? And then the medical industry gives you drugs and so on like that. Again, it's like they're losing it. Or people who start to. I was just listening to a person who had a near-death experience, a crazy experience. Husband shot her like 6 times, lived through it, right? She experienced, say, Jesus and this and all that. Obviously not a complete disconnect from it. Because, again, she saw Jesus. Now, if she was like Muslim, she would see, Muhammad, or she was Buddhist, she would see a Buddhist God type feel, or whatever you feel. So again, not a complete disconnect. I'll do a NDE, science behind NDEs, coming up as well. Take a breath in. So those individuals. So basically, she, after her near death, she had amazing abilities to foretell the future. Okay. She was sent to a psychiatric ward. Her doctor sent her to a psychiatric ward. Okay. So why I'm saying this is like there's going to be people who are going to have abilities that they cannot control, and it will make them go crazy. Okay. So if you have that propensity to be controlled for other realities and so on, okay, you might want to do, again, some kind of hyper meditation that's coming up, or I don't know, the team. I can't think. I've done so many meditations. If you something that would help them stay in their body. I'm sorry. Say that again, D. Healthy boundaries. There you go. A healthy boundary meditation. Um, so you can do that, and it'll protect you from that space. So those individuals, again, who think that they're going fucking crazy, and they're seeing visions and so on like that. Okay. Noticing your neck, your shoulders area. So head injuries. Oh, wow. I work with a lot of clients, athletes, and so on like that. So if you have a child that's in football, guys, just be careful. From what I've seen from working on a lot of people who've had, like, say you have a husband, that's in the NFL or whatever. I'm not going to name names, but real story. So many brain injuries, or a famous football player, like football with the feet, European soccer. Um, they get bashed in the head, or rugby. It was rugby, right? They get bashed in the head so many times. Again, they start to lose their spatial referencing. And then that person, it's like you're with them, and all of a sudden they morph into another personality that beats the shit out of you, right? So the reason why they do that is because being aggressive pulls them back into the reality that they need to be. So they have to take it out on you. I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying that's why they do it. right? Because it gets confusing for you. It's like, oh shit, he says he loves me. He says he does all this for me, and you're the world to me. But then he fucking beats me and the kids up, right? So those people who got injured through football or soccer, rugby, and sports, basically, those types of individuals, again, helping you again with spatial referencing or resetting that, and that's usually not necessarily a hit like this where the brain gets like boxing. You know what I mean? The brain keeps hitting the the, the skull. It's usually injuries where the head gets, say, compressed into the spine. That's where that rage and terror comes in. So there's different, and we can do a special about that. So if the team is is can you maybe write down ideas on meditations we can do about that? Kids, ADD, ADHD, those things. Again, your brains, because you weren't properly fed, most likely, or environmental issues, not the best for you. Your brain basically doesn't know where you're rendering yourself, so you are fidgety and so on like that. Again, head or brain type issues. I am doing an article, a paper on what the brain actually does, and it goes way beyond what the latest science says the brain does. It's so menial compared to what it really does. So, um, breath in again. Got just a few more minutes. What else is there? There we go. So we're working on those. We'll kind of wrap things up. Political leaders and so on like that. Business leaders that say direct the human. So getting rid of, helping them create or help humans properly, not by destroying them, by creating them weak, so they're easier to control. Because that's so old. China did it so fucking long ago. Obviously, Hitler did it. Um, it's coming back. The social system or social credit system. We're trying that. The U.S. is probably will try that, so on like that, to control you, right? It's all about control. It's leaders. It's not about fucking controlling people. It's about giving you the best education, the best knowledge, the best understanding of being the best possible human. And then you don't need to control people. They self-control themselves. And you have a high-level society that's not damaged or burdened, or again, so you don't have to spend trillions of dollars putting on security cameras and for police and abuse patterns and all that shit that we spend, say, basically we waste money on. If we just elevated your, say, people, and that's what political leaders should do. And I think that'd be a great campaign, by the way. If you just elevated your people, right, to a higher level of standard, they'd be self-sufficient. But political leaders do the other way. So you'd have to control. It's like not teaching your kids how to, say, sustain themselves properly. What happens to those kids? They're fucking 40 years old. They live at home and they need you, and you need to support them. Basically, that's what the government of all nations, societies, religions, and so on like that, the control, that's what they do. Your family, anybody who controls, they use that process. It's pretty sickening, isn't it? Are you doing that to your kid or anybody else that you support? So don't. Not good. Breath in again, guys, as we end. Well, that's not real leadership either. People are so proud, of all these leaders, not great leaders. They've usually coerced, no matter Winston Churchill. Oh my God. uh, all the presidents, uh, all the dictators. Fuck, they're not great leaders. Not according to XI standards. Sure, they got shit done, but anyway, it's another talk, and you didn't hear it from me. You want real leadership, right? Breath in. Leaders that won't send you to an early grave. Leaders that will perpetuate your grandness. Hold on to your grandness and don't become fearful of how grand you've become, because it would say feel like they're being disempowered. If they did it right, they'll elevate themselves with, say, the population that they're elevating. Again, true leadership skills. So that's that. Nature, which includes pets. Pets have been demoralized. Holy shit. Dogs are dogs, you know. But now they're somebody's, I don't know, somebody's like kid, again, or emotional support. They're not supposed to be that. They're little dolls that are living. That's in. It could be my perception, but that's criminal. Breath in. It's just that, again, from people I've seen that have done that to, say, their pets, once they awaken, they start to go, shit, you know what? I don't need to do that to my pet anymore. I'm going to let them be a dog, no matter how genetically modified they are. Anyway, so helping that out. There we go. So we did a lot, guys. We did a lot. You can stay in the space. If you're listening to this again, you can listen to it. There you go. Again, please subscribe to the channel. Tell other people about it, because they're going to be more and more. It'll help you, say, create a strong community around you to support the new version of you as well. Okay. All right. A lot of good things coming up tonight. Food and water frequency infusion. Okay. So again, we did the first meditation about adapting you to your highest version so you can absorb the nutrition you want. Food and water one is about, say, literally, say, blessing your food. That's how that tradition started. So the food that you're eating, the frequency matches the resonance of what your body needs. That's where it all originated in its original form. Okay. Those shamans, that's how it all started. But now it's gotten fucked up, through religions where somebody blesses them and it's kosher, and some guy blesses it and it's supposed to be clean. No offense against whatever religions I just offended, but anyway, it's not about that. It's literally about you resonating or working on your food to optimize the frequency. So when you ingest it, it harmonizes. Tesla talked about harmonization of frequencies for the best benefit. Very powerful. So that's what this meditation is about. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of feedback from those religions, but it is what it is, right? The 18 days starts tomorrow. Again, so if you haven't taken a look at that, very powerful, especially it's going to be the ending frequent pattern for you. Personal deprogramming coming up. It's on entitlement. Okay. Deprogramming from, say, that sense of entitlement, or either you feeling entitled, or attracting people who feel entitled and take shit away from you. So that's coming up for you. When is that? December 29th. A lot of good things towards the end of the year for you, just to say, by the time New Year hits, it's a great opportunity for you to disconnect. Frequency Spa coming up December 12th. That's about you enhancing your best possible self, right? Getting you ready for the New Year's. So that's really good. And it also strengthens you to let go of your old shit better. It's not just about beauty, physical beauty, by about youthfulness and so on like that. And then The Great Divide, Part 1, Death, December 30th. It's the death of, say, not just your physical image here, but it's about the death of consciousness, and then the beginning of the new. So, all right, guys, I have to head out. Notice what you notice, guys, and then notice all that you notice. And if you're not liking what you're noticing, fucking change. This is a great opportunity. I just gave you a ton of methods, events, and so on that'll help you change. Okay, so so there it is for you. All right, guys, I'll see you next time around on Moss on Sunday or some other venue. Take care. Again, please subscribe and hit the like button.